Each sunrise is the dawning of a ray of hope for the rural communities below the poverty line, facing daily obstacles in their constant battle for survival. Life can be challenging at times and a struggle to many. Likewise, men and women thriving to create a livelihood in these rural communities engage in a diversified range of self-employment efforts in quest of earning an extra rupee or two, despite some being physically challenged due to disabilities. The urge to earn for them without being any burden to the society, be it by way of small-scale industry or dairy farming or mushroom cultivation, is their daily motivation for their labor. Sri Lanka's Centre for Development Facilitation, SLCDF, and the driving force of the civil society movement in Sri Lanka for over 3 decades, facilitated organization and building capacities of the civil society movement to claim their space in the development arena in Sri Lanka. The organization, with its inception in 1987, has empowered the livelihoods of thousands of families through their projects, navigating with the vision of becoming the dynamic facilitator for civil society engagement in the development of Sri Lanka, encompassing the mission of developing capacity and facilitating spaces for the civil society to access economic and social equality towards sustainable development. The strategic contribution in developing a strong network of provincial organizations is a vital step towards this goal. The non-government organizations and the community-based organizations with district-wise operations are strengthened through a consortium for a stronger national-level network, where majority of consortiums are created with the financial generosity extended by Diakonia.
SLCDF started in 1987 with the Canadian support. We focus our program for the poverty groups. Our main objective is to address the poverty through their organizations. Now, from 1987 to 2002, Canadian government provided the funds. 2002, as a local organization, we established as a Sri Lanka Centre for Development Facilitation with the same objectives. The first executive director was the Dr. W.P.P. Abedira. He is the person established the Canadian project and the Sri Lanka Centre for Development Facilitation as a NGO. Dr. Abedira continued his work as an executive director. Mr. Sam Vijayasinghe was the first chairman of the Sri Lanka Centre for Development Facilitation, managed by the Sri Lankan professionals. Up to now, we are working with 18 districts with the 18 district consortia, covering more than 400 NGOs with 5,000 CBOs. We provided more than 1,000 million rupees in our country. During the Canadian times, we handled the $30 million. At the moment, we are working with other donors like Diakonia Sri Lanka we are working with, and Palmyra Australia we are working, and the USAID we have two projects, and the EU also we have 2 projects. Like different donors, they are funding for our program.
The key to realizing a dream is to focus not on success but significance. And then even the small steps and little victories along your path will take on greater meaning. Looking back at the journey in making an impact in the lives of those in need, SLCDF has paved the way for over 60,000 families to be financially independent since the start of their operation, spanning over 3 decades.
Unlike any other non-governmental organization, the whole approach that the SLCDF is using is rather unique. What I am very happy is with the SLCDF that they have been right along sticking to their core values. Whether the staff has changed or whether the development agendas have changed, their core values are being respected and it is being ensured.
What is most important about SLCDF is their representation and the partnership with the community. The way they represent the voices of the people by making them the facilitators or the power of their own needs to voice out their needs. And the mobilization process to develop capacity within these communities to be the leaders themselves. SLCDF has played a great role in terms of bringing them up to the policy level, in terms of raising the issues experienced at the field level.
Trust, honesty, humility, transparency, and accountability are the building blocks of a positive reputation. The SLCDF takes pride in being an organization with meticulous reporting and planning in all dealings and transactions that has enabled to gain the trust and confidence of all partner organizations since the inception.
Overall, I am very pleased with the level of transparency and accountability in the organization, and the commitment of the other members of the board as well. They use all these resources which have been entrusted to them in a very effective and efficient manner, so that more people are benefited at the grassroots level.
Individual commitment to a group effort is what makes a team work, an organization work, a society work, a civilization work. And vision is a destination, a fixed point to which we focus all our efforts. The organizational structure of SLCDF is fueled by the progressive vision and the dedicated staff, which is the key essence in contributing to the success story, providing a service that exceeds excellence. The positive contributions towards creating domestic livelihoods in sectors such as agriculture, mushroom cultivation, small-scale industries, livestock development and small industries have contributed in making a strong impact within the communities. Women are capable of leading at all levels, including the top, to change the dynamic, reshape the conversation, to make sure women's voices are heard and heeded, not overlooked and ignored. SLCDF also initiated advocacy programs to groom women in these areas for public service, and few of whom currently serve in the local government.
අවුරුදු ගණනාවක් තිස්සේ අපි ගොඩාක් වෙහෙස මහන්සි වුණා කාන්තා නියෝජනය 130ක කෝටාවක් ලබා ගන්න. නමුත් මං හිතන්නේ ඒක සෑහෙන දුෂ්කර ගමනක්, සෑහෙන දුෂ්කර ක්‍රියාවලියක් වුණා. අපිට ලබා දීපු අවස්ථාවෙන් ඒ පත්වෙච්ච කාන්තා නියෝජිතවරියන් යම්කිසි හඬක් නගලා කාන්තාවන් පිළිබඳව කාන්තා සංවේදී ගැටලු පිළිබඳව සාකච්ඡා කළා. පිරිමි හඬට මූලිකත්වය නොදී පිරිමි හඬ යටපත් කරමින් කාන්තා හඬ හොඳ දෙයක් වෙනුවෙන් ගොඩනගාවි කියලා අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
කාන්තාව පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ හිටිය තමයි. දැනටත් පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ 13 දෙනෙක් නියෝජනය වෙනවා. නමුත් අද ප්‍රාදේශීය සභාව තුළ ප්‍රජාවට වැඩ කිරීමට ප්‍රජාව සමග උරණුරුර ගැටි ඔවුන්ගේ ප්‍රශ්න ගැටලු හා පොදු අවශ්‍යතා ප්‍රාදේශීය වශයෙන් විසඳීමට අපට හොඳ අවස්ථාවක් ලැබුණා.
SLCDF involves itself in rebuilding the lives of war-affected families and in implementing rehabilitation interventions of livelihood programs, and provided assistance for families not only to earn a better living, but has also provided them with financial support via a custom-made microfinancial scheme through the community-based societies. Taking initiatives to venture into other key areas such as clean water projects for the communities of these areas, creating awareness on right to information, and educating the public to seek information from the government institutes to identify and rectify the issues in the respective areas are key areas touched by SLCDF.
දිස්ත්‍රික් ප්‍රජා සංවිධාන සංසදය මොනරාගල දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ සිවිල් සංවිධාන සමග තොරතුරු දැන ගැනීමේ අයිදුම් පත්‍ර 280ක් පමණ 2019 වසරේ අපි ඉදිරිපත් කරා. දේශපාලඥයින්ට ඒ වගේම නිලධාරීන්ට ලිපිගොනු වලට පමණක් සීමා වෙලා තිබුණු සමහර තොරතුරු අපිට මතු කරගන්න හැකියාවක් ලැබුණා. 2018 වර්ෂයේ තොරතුරු දැන ගැනීමේ කොමිසම මගින් ප්‍රවෘත්ති අමාත්‍යාංශ ඒකාබද්ධව පවත්වපු සම්මාන ප්‍රදාන උත්සවයේදීත් ස්ත්‍රී ප්‍රජා සංවිධාන සංසදයට සම්මානයක් ලැබුණා. ඉතින් ඒක අපිට ලොකු ජයග්‍රහණයක්.
During the past few years, attention was given to new program areas, such as waste management, with special emphasis on preventing pollution to meet the sustainable environment challenges, and election monitoring with PAFREL to strengthen independent election process.
We have changed somewhat our approach to some of the work that was done in the past. With the same basic principle that we help the consortiums in the country, which means a large number of non-governmental organizations who are willing to help the poor of the poorest, and also in the recent years we are now concentrating on looking at the environment and social factors that are impinging upon the environment, which are in turn returningly affecting the poorer people of the country. We have now recognized that we must not just only be looking at poverty alleviation or reconciliation as of 2009 onwards, that we should be looking at the environmental factors which affect our systems very badly. In the recent times, we have concentrated on the plastic issue and the waste generation, because SLCDF as a policy recognizes not to manage waste but to have a zero waste future. As far as the programs are concerned, the present programs are very successful, and the success of it is very visible because most of the donors who have been helping the poorer in this country through us has continuously come back to us and has always asked us to continue some of the work.
Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. SLCDF has always made their vision and mission to stand by those communities, extending a friendly and supportive hand at all times. Community service gives a valuable opportunity to walk into a different community that is less familiar, but just as colorful and, most importantly, in need.
SLCDF continue our facilitation role to improve the lives of the poverty groups in Sri Lanka. Up to now, we provided our development support for more than 50,000 families covering 18 districts, consisting 400 NGOs and more than 5,000 community-based organizations in Sri Lanka.
SLCDF has thus become an integral part of empowering and enhancing lives of these families, ensuring them a future to look forward to.